So up first, this one is coming from the Two Hot Takes subreddit, posted by one of our own. It's titled, Am I the asshole for telling my partner he would be a bad parent for going on holiday? I'm 26 female, currently 38 weeks pregnant. My 26 male partner has just sprung an idea a couple of hours ago on me. He started by telling me how he wants to take a solo holiday somewhere, to which I have no issue. He would want to go for a week or two. Again, isn't an issue. And if he needs a solo holiday, then I'm supportive. Until he said he wanted to go in about 2 weeks. That is exactly my due date. I asked if he was kidding and said that isn't something he should do. He looked stone-faced and unmoving, followed by a simple, quote, but why shouldn't I be able to go? I responded by saying he wouldn't be a good partner or father if he disappeared on holiday, leaving me and baby literally just as they were born. His response was, quote, well, you haven't been a good partner in the past either, have you? Context, mid-last year, we had broken up for a small amount of time. The relationship had its issues that had been communicated and improved greatly since then, for the most part. I calmly asked him how he would feel if I handed the baby over to him after birth and went on holiday for 2 weeks. Would that be fair on him? His response was simply, crack off. Then the conversation died. Am I the asshole?
No.
Mm-mm.
No. That's some audacity.
I'm having your child, like this is our kid, but half yours, your kid. I'm having your kid, not Tom down the street.
Yeah.
Your kid.
Yeah.
And you're going to leave on a 2-week holiday when I'm supposed to give birth?
That's a scary preview into life with this person as a partner and a father, because again, speaking from a non-parent, never given birth, never been a parent, but I would imagine that giving birth and the arrival of your baby is one of the most memorable days of your life. And the fact that he's like perfectly okay with possibly missing it because if the due date doesn't line up, he could be gone, one. And then two, those like first few days are, kind of speculating here, but I would imagine are so important to bond.
Yes.
They're exciting. Like when you bring home a new puppy, you want to spend every waking minute with it. Like this is your baby and you're perfectly okay just leaving during its first few days on this earth.
It's weird.
Crazy to me. That is a bad father. In my opinion, that is a bad father.
Yeah, I would agree. I think like, especially saying like you're being a bad partner and dad by leaving.
Yeah.
This isn't like the baby's 6 months old and he's going to a friend's wedding, like a similar story we've had. This is go time.
Yeah.
This is when your partner needs you most. And I think you said it so well where it's like you want to spend time with your baby. Like this is key bonding time.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a misconception where it's only important for moms to bond with their baby right away. Like the mom is breastfeeding or, you know, feeding the baby and things like that. And it's like, no, it's just as important for the dad to do kangaroo care too.
Yeah.
And kangaroo care, it's skin to skin essentially. And it's like, it's just as important no matter what gender you are, no matter what role you are in that partnership, birth giver versus non-birth giver. Like it is just as important.
Yeah. And I
guess, you're going to like, what? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I'm curious to hear from like dads who have been in the delivery room or been there for the birth. And like, if you ask them, would you be heartbroken if you missed this? I feel like an overwhelming amount of them would be like, I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
Yeah.
This makes me think of this story. Like I might have told this on this podcast. It's been a while now, but we're starting to retell stories.
I know it's
we're
hard.
recycling stories,
dude. 2 years in, we've only lived so much life.
I only got so many tricks.
Literally,
I only got so many tricks up my sleeve. No. But this girl that I know, she went into. So she was, I forget if they were engaged or dating at the time, but probably engaged. And she went into labor. Her fiance was a coach for a big Big 10, Big 12 school football game, whatever. Football's big.
Yeah.
Was like a coach, part of the coaching staff. And she would go to all the games. And she was really, really pregnant. And she went into labor on like one of their big game days.
No.
She didn't tell him, didn't have him alerted. She went and started like giving labor at the hospital.
What?
Watching the game like on the,
And I don't know if you've ever told this one.
I don't think I have. And I remember I was sitting at dinner, she's telling me this story. And I'm like, I don't know if she's thinking I'm impressed, but I'm like really sad for you. I felt so bad. I was like, why wouldn't you have him? He was coaching. He's not the head coach, by the way. He's like one of many coaches.
He can leave.
And she was like, it was game day. And I go, and?
What if you started bleeding out and you needed someone there to help you make medical decisions?
Oh, she did have a medical complication. She did almost die. Oh. I'm not kidding. I forgot about that part. She did have a medical complication. And I'm like, where was so-and-so? And she's like, I had to let him finish the game. It's game day.
No.
What?
Your partner comes before career.
What? And I just saw this TikTok of this like reporter who's on the sidelines at like one of the games leading up to the Super Bowl this year.
I saw
and
that.
He leaves.
He literally took off his headset and started running.
And I'm like, that's the energy I want. Like, I just couldn't believe that she's telling me. I'm not trying to sidetrack from the story, but I was like, wouldn't you want him there? Like, this is his child too. And you didn't even give him the choice to be present. You technically just assumed he wasn't
She had the baby by the time the game was done.
I don't remember. I think he showed up like during the final pushes of labor. So he was there. But it was the fact that she didn't even feel like she could say something to me was really, really sad. And there's a lot of things wrong with that picture, in my opinion, to be honest. It kind of shows how like we glorify sometimes like the man being like the breadwinner and having this job and like sports and stuff like that. And like this woman was put in a position that like where she thought she couldn't bother him.
Yeah.
And so anyway, to relate it back to this,
so sad.
I know, back to the story, like it's not all on the mother. Like you said, it's both of you are having this child. You should, if you can, you should both be present.
I agree. I think it's so important to have someone with you during childbirth and make sure they know your birth plan, make sure they know what you want. I mean, there was a trend going around right now about people during childbirth and if you had a choice to save the mom or the baby.
Oh, I hate that.
What would you pick? And there was a guy who did it and he goes, talk to your partner about this because I signed those papers when we had our first baby and I had no idea what I was signing.
What did he sign?
Like basically saying like save the baby, not the mom.
Really?
And it's an interesting debate.
Wow, I don't even like that.
It's very hot debate. And just so we're clear, Justin, if you're listening, I would like to be saved. We can, and some people use the same argument. Like you can make another baby, but I'm, what do you mean? Like, like you're going to motherless child. Yeah. Or especially if you already have kids, it's like, you're going to give your kids another sibling and take away their mom.
Yeah.
Like
that's tough.
It's a really hot debate, but like
my heart like hurts right now just thinking about that.
Save me.
What a terrible, I'm like struggling. You're like, save me. I don't know.
It's complex.
I don't know. I need to think about that one.
Definitely a hot take topic.
That is a whoo, you guys. If you want a hot take, you should find a story on that, and I will not be on the episode. Sorry.
But with this one, very, very weird. I think it's weird. He started like throwing it in her face, like, well, you haven't been a good partner either.
Okay, let's come back to that now. Okay. I hate eye for eye mentality. I hate tit for tat. We're not keeping score. That is a toxic, terrible way to live, in my opinion. If everyone's going to fuck up at some point, everyone's going to make mistakes. If you wait until things get bad. Also, it's a little bit, and I want to find another word for this. So I'm sorry. Help me find another word for gaslight, because it's not necessarily gaslighting, but it's a little bit of a narcissistic thing to do if Morgan says to me, Alejandra, I don't like the way you talked to me. And I pick that moment to start saying, well, you know what, Morgan, you never make me feel important and you never listen to me. And like all of those things could be true. But if you do it in that moment, it's almost like a way of kind of grabbing the mic and being like, no, let's go eye for eye now. Like, let me tell you everything that pisses me off. Or like roommates who live together and one says like, hey, like I've been taking out the trash every week. Could you start doing that? And they're like, you know, you never empty the dishwasher. I'm always emptying it's like,
there is a term for it.
Yeah, there's a term for it.
But at the root cause of it is that person's inability to be accountable.
100%.
And I just saw a therapist talking about the number one cause of couples not working out is the lack of one partner to be accountable.
Yes.
So it's like, it's the easiest thing. It's this situation where instead of like him doing this low blow and like detouring and shifting the blame
Yeah.
onto her.
Yes.
It's like he's
Absolutely.
he doesn't have the ability to be accountable.
Yes.
And all he had to be like is, you know what, you're right. I'll plan a trip when you and the baby are both healed and happy, healthy, and blah, 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 blah. Like maybe 3 months after baby's born. It'd be a great time for a baby moon or whatever you want to call a trip. But weird. So top comment on this one. And there's only 83 on there right now because it's just a small little Two Hot Takes post.
Hey, this is not, first of all, I looked today. There's a lot of members in that subreddit.
There's so many.
Yeah, let's not call it small. But,
but the top comment is not the asshole. His reasoning sounds petty, unsupportive, and calculating, especially picking the one time you'll need support. It does feel purposeful. It's almost like he doesn't want to be there. And I'm not sure why that would be the case, but it is weird. And I think if you are giving birth, you need people with you who know your birth plan, know what you want, know important things. Like you need support. That's what it is.
You're also you're creating an opportunity for someone to resent you, for the OP to resent him, because I just think like if something goes wrong, even if something doesn't go wrong, you're just gonna resent that person for not being there. And I just don't understand, like you said, whether he's trying to avoid it on purpose or what, but I don't know what he's thinking. And I think it comes down to accountability, like you said. And I think sometimes people say or ask or do things that are very, like I said, packed with audacity. And then when they get confronted, it's not only just a lack of embarrassment or lack of accountability, but I think there's also an element of embarrassment. And the way that they can kind of alleviate that is by deflecting and throwing it back. Like he's almost embarrassed
that he brought it up.
Exactly. He's almost embarrassed that he like made this ask and didn't think it through.
I could see that.
And so he's like, well, you do this or you don't do this. And like a way of kind of like turning the table back on her.
Yeah.
But I mean, not the asshole. There's no way that's an asshole move.
No, and someone kind of picks up on what you're saying and they go, it sounds like he's panicking and suddenly decided he doesn't want the responsibility of fatherhood. So now he's pushing her to break up with him. So he won't be the bad guy who abandons his pregnant girlfriend / newborn baby.
That's interesting. That would be very, very calculated. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, and they go, OP, his reaction reminds me of that guy who suddenly accused his wife of 7 years of baby trapping him.
Wait.
Because he couldn't handle the changes.
I thought there was one who accused of cheating.
Oh, I could see that.
It was a story with you a while ago.
I've started to like forget what ones I've read because I just see so many. Yeah, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely wild. I hope it works out. I definitely would encourage him to be there. I think it's really important. But maybe tell someone else your medical decision making parameters, because I don't know. He makes me nervous. We'll put it that way.
Seems like a flight risk.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a solid birth plan. Maybe your mom, someone else can be there with you.